Good morning, friends. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Josh. This morning we are out for another day of dove hunting. If you're into hunting, outdoors, camping type content, consider subscribing. Not as busy this morning either, which is pretty awesome. There was a lot of people out here for opening day, and I only have one hunter to my right that's right at the tree line back over here. When I was here last week, that was a busy spot. I mean, the birds were just coming in and out of that area. Now, I'm not sure how it is for you guys, but as I'm out here for dove season, I'm also scouting for quail and seeing what quail are in this area. The last couple times I've come out, there's quite a bit of quail within this area. So our quail season in Arizona will open up in October. Missed that one, but I mean, super low, but I think that guy just shot at that bird that I should have shot at. Our quail season will open from October and go all the way through February of next year. If you guys remember from last week, in order to get into the agricultural field, I had to walk through where their water comes out. So you had to cross the canal. This morning that ain't happening. The canal is super full. Coming in from my left side, got two birds. Sparrows. Bummer. Bird identification is key, guys. Do your due diligence when it comes to bird identification. That I totally thought those were doves coming in, and they ended up being sparrows. I have all this brush just kind of sitting around me. So it kind of gives me a little bit of cover from these birds that are coming in and out. I'm not even gonna lie, man, I had one bird opportunity and I didn't even have the gun loaded. Man, they're just zipping behind me. He's up high. As the morning keeps going on, they'll start flying a lot lower too. Right now it's nice and cool, so they're a little higher, which isn't that big of a deal. Depending on what choke you have in, I have improved cylinder on this 20 gauge. I mean, I can go out to like 30, 35, but anything else pushing it. I'm not using high brass or anything like that. I found some on, I think it's bulkammo.com, and I'm gonna switch over to that for next year, which is high brass. Switched at the last minute. This morning, since I'm right here in the sagebrush, I didn't bring those hunting boots for rattlesnakes. Since I'm not in the agricultural fields where all that stuff is like seriously to your knees, I don't really need it right here. I can see if there's snakes on the ground. It is a little cooler, so the snakes will probably start coming out. You know, sun for the morning. In the comments below, I'm curious to hear from you guys who watch this video. What type of shotgun are you using and what type of gauge, including the ammo when you're doing dove and quail? Now in that question, do you use one type of ammo overall for dove and quail, or do you have specific type of loads that you like for each? Me, personally, I'm running the same load for dove and quail. That number 6 steel. So next year for early season, for both dove and quail, I'm gonna switch to that high brass like I was talking about. It's late season, this number 6 steel will do just fine because they'll fly super low. Oh, freaking fly flew up my nose. For all you guys that get discouraged too, believe me, last year was terrible for me. I didn't shoot a lot of dove last year. Just take it in stride as far as, you know, each time when you go out, learn something new. For me, each time I go out, I'm learning that the bird's different every single day. For the most part, doves are the same, but how they migrate, their wing pattern, how they cycle, where they nest. Obviously, that's going to be different no matter where you go. The dove capital of the world in Yuma, Arizona, you know, even those birds are going to act different than the ones up here. Though it's not a huge different climate change, where they feed at and whatnot, that's going to be the difference. This type of area with the agricultural fields pretty much like simulates that, because there's a lot of type of farming and whatnot in Yuma. Now, what I mean by not getting discouraged is just enjoy the hunt. I see a lot of dudes get super frustrated because they're not shooting anything. And I get it, man. It could be frustrating, but that's the great sport of hunting, is it's just patience. You know, if you have no patience, hunting and fishing isn't for you. You're gonna have a lot of terrible days than you are winning days. Now, once you get on like a certain pattern of where you see birds or where the fish are, etc., then you're gonna do better in those days. You're gonna have days where you go out, you know, one weekend and you come back the next and the birds have changed patterns, changed direction. That's why the upland birds are called migratory birds, because they migrate constantly. The biggest tip I'll give you guys when it comes to dove hunting is always adapt to the environment in which you're in. The environment isn't going to be the same as far as how the animals work to that every single day, how they're working. Your whole due process of scouting helps you build a pattern of behavior with animals, whether that's predators, big game, birds. You start to begin patterns of where the animals are at, where they're feeding, where they're roosting, etc. And in those patterns, you start adapting to those patterns and changes of environment. You will have a lot more success when you learn to be patient and adapt to that environment on that hunt. Now, last week, these birds didn't start coming out till later, so I didn't come out here super early this morning. Last week I came out at like 4 a.m. and a lot of the birds didn't start coming out and feeding well until like way after 7. So right now I'm just focusing in on the birds that are going to be feeding, kind of migrating all the way around until say about 8 or 9. Perfect example of what I said earlier is adapting to the change of environment. I just came down the road a little ways. What we got down here, look at all this stuff. Beer bottles, shells everywhere. I'm actually gonna do a video and come out here after the season is over and just pick up all this crap. It's such a disappointment, man. You know, and I'm just gonna say it. What I've noticed about my local hunting community and my local area, to me, they are super gracious with picking up their stuff, respecting. This is all tribal land, you know, gives us non-tribal people licenses to come out here and hunt this stuff. Then you got people like this who just leave their crap everywhere. Half of you stupid California people that come out here, this is what you're doing. Half of you guys have no hunting licenses to even hunt out here on this tribal land. You come out here and poach, and you leave your crap everywhere. Don't come out into these areas. And I know it because when I came out here, half of the plates that these guys had when they came out here all said California. And I'll give it to you, there's probably maybe 3% do things the right way and get a hunting license through tribal. Everybody else is out here poaching. Here comes some, but they're just flying so high. I don't want to hit the power lines. There's some right there. going slow. Man, that truck's going by. I just had all these doves fly by. Couldn't do anything. Okay. Oh, look at them all right here. They're just flying. Oh man, they're all around right here. There's one right there, right in front of me. Well, this is definitely where they're nesting at, right in here. Oh man, these trees have thorns. Ouch. Dang it. There was one right there. Man, that's a good little spot. Well guys, it's been a doozy this morning. That's all right. That's part of hunting. Came back to the spot where I know 100% there's dove at. It's just not been super successful. So I'm gonna go home, charge all this stuff, and go out in the evening time closer to my house, where I talked about going previously and just haven't been able to get out there. So I thank you guys for joining me. If you guys like hunting outdoors, camping type content, you're a newbie like me, we can all learn together. Till next time, we'll see you on the next hunt.